Hi, we're out on the range today, so please bear with gunfire you hear in the background. Now, when it comes to selecting ammunition for your concealed carry personal protection home defense handgun, there's a long list of criteria to take into consideration. Availability, cost, recoil, accuracy, perceived effectiveness, what barriers you think you might have to shoot through, what barriers you don't want to shoot through. The list goes on ad astra. But what I consider to be the two most common types of ammunition people will select is some kind of polymer-tipped ammunition that's like a ballistic tip, or some kind of hollow point. And the two main reasons to select hollow point ammunition is, one, the expanding projectile will do more damage to the intended target, and two, the expanding projectile will retard penetration. So the danger of damage to inanimate objects like household appliances or vehicles through overpenetration is reduced, and the danger of injury to innocent bystanders through overpenetration is reduced. However, one of the things on that long list of criteria in selecting ammunition are your local laws. There are jurisdictions where hollow point ammunition is prohibited, so viewers have contacted me asking about alternatives to hollow point ammunition. Well, on many previous occasions, we've fired ballistic tip-esque ammunition of various calibers and various types. We've also fired lead round nose, full metal jacket round nose, full metal jacket flat point, lead wad cutters. So today I'd like to shoot three types of ammunition that maybe we haven't fired before. Let me show you a close-up of them. And here's the ammunitions we'll be using today. Now, from your left to right, on the left is your Underwood Superior High Performance 9x19 Plus P Extreme Defender with a 65 grain non-expanding projectile that looks like a cut-off Phillips screwdriver. In the center is the Winchester Super Clean 9x19 with a 105 grain jacketed lead-free flat point. And on your right, the MagTek 9x19 with a 124 grain round nose soft point. Because we're talking primarily about concealed carry handguns, I'm going to use this Sig Sauer Model 365 with a 3-inch barrel. And the ammunition I'm going to start with is our MagTek 9x19 124 grain round nose soft point. Now, our test medium, for those who haven't seen it before, is the meat target. That's leather jacket skin, pork steak pectorals, pork ribs, a bag of oranges to simulate lung tissue, more ribs on the back, 4 layers of t-shirt on the front, 4 layers of t-shirt on the back, and the whole thing followed by the new and improved high-tech fleece bullet stop. And I'll shoot from 7 yards, and let's see what kind of results we get. Well, our projectiles all went through the ribs on the front of the target, went through the orange lung tissue, they all went through the ribs on the back of the target. Don't really see any damage other than just 9mm holes in our meat target, and all of the projectiles were stopped somewhere between the 25th and 35th layer of fleece. Now, let's take a close-up look at the projectiles. I fired 5 rounds, but I dropped one on the ground and I couldn't find it, so here's 4 of them, and you can see virtually no deformation, virtually no expansion. I've got a new meat target set up, and now let's try our Winchester Super Clean jacketed lead-free flat point target ammunition. Now, this ammunition has the word target stamped on the box, and it's also labeled as lead-free. So if it's not lead, what is it? According to what's printed on the box, it's a patented tin core. And even though it has the word target stamped on the box, when I look at this projectile, it's not fully jacketed. That patented tin core is exposed, and the jacket has the divisions in it as if they expect this projectile to expand. So looking at it, it looks like a flat-nosed soft point. So let's shoot this at our meat target from 7 yards and see what kind of damage we can do. And again, we have holes in the ribs on the front of the target, holes in our orange lung tissue, holes in the ribs on the back of the target. Doesn't look like a whole lot more damage than just 9mm holes in our target. However, as far as penetration, 3 of the projectiles were stopped between the 30th and 40th layer of fleece, and it looks like a couple of them went clear through the fleece bullet stop. Now, let's take a close-up look at the projectiles I did recover. And here's our super clean ammunition, and we see that the jacket did peel away a little bit on a couple of them, but still very little deformation. Now I've got a new meat target set up, and I'll shoot this from 7 yards with our Underwood Superior High Performance Extreme Defender 9x19 plus P 65 grain cut-off Phillips head screwdriver projectile, and let's see how this does. Now I had to move the table due to the sun glare, but I disassembled our meat target, and the Extreme Defender projectiles did a lot of damage to our pork chop pectoral. Profound damage to the ribs on the front of the target. Really chewed up our orange lung tissue, and the ribs on the back of the target, the holes aren't nearly as big as the ribs on the front of the target, but still, where the projectiles hit ribs broke them, and the holes are bigger than just 9mm. And all of the projectiles were stopped anywhere from the t-shirt on the back of the target to the 5th layer of fleece. So it looks like in the genre of non-expanding 9x19 projectiles, we found a winner. But what's really interesting is the condition these projectiles are in now. Let me show you a close-up. Here's 4 of them, and you can see they are not deformed at all. Now a couple more things to add. First, if you live in a jurisdiction where you're prohibited from having any kind of ammunition other than Full Metal Jacket round nose, don't despair. Full Metal Jacket round nose with proper shot placement can be effective. Secondly, I cannot quote chapter and verse of every firearms law in every municipality, in every county or shire, in every state or province, in every nation in the entire world. But I can say that in many jurisdictions there are ammunition restrictions, and those ammunition restrictions are written differently in different jurisdictions. In some places it may be a prohibition specifically of hollow point projectiles. In other places you may be prohibited from having any kind of expanding projectile. And just because those Extreme Defender rounds didn't expand, that does not necessarily mean they're legal in all jurisdictions. So on that long list of criteria in selecting ammunition, checking your local laws is definitely on the list. So as always, don't try this at home on what you call a professional, and thanks for watching the non-hollow point ammunition video.